And what's up, Chips? And what's up with Melania? Has anybody heard from her or Hope? I mean, we get bogus updates about that guy, but ain't nobody said nothing about none of these other people. How did they not talk about Melania? How does he not talk about him? I'm confused. I'm really confused, and I know part of my confusion is because I'm not a big fan of his. I don't hate the man. I just have a severe dislike for him and his ways as a president. What he does as a person, hey, if his wives and kids cool with him, who am I to say? He ain't paying damn bill of mine, so it don't affect me like that. But as the president of the United States, yeah, I need to know about the first family. I want to know what's going on. Um, and that's kind of what the show is about. Because I've been watching some posts. I'm gonna hold that thought right quick. All right, Roy, don't let me get distracted. I want to say something that's been bothering me. And Pete, since you said something, I'm gonna go ahead and touch on it. Um, and that's this coronavirus. Pete is one of my viewers. Pete said that he ain't been keeping up with the show because he had the coronavirus, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing that a lot of people don't talk about because one, like I've had friends who fake cancer and faked other things. I think some people are faking this for something to get other stuff, but I ain't calling nobody out because it is what it is. Yeah, and they just said that Barron tested positive. Now they're saying he been negative, but anyway. Um, the coronavirus is what it is. Whether you believe in it or not, I'm here to tell you that it's real. I have friends who have survived it. I have friends who have not survived it. It's crazy how people want to be dismissive of the whole process, and that's cool. Everybody got their own belief system, but I'm here to tell you firsthand. I know people personally, not through Facebook, not through social media. I know people who have had it. Like I said, one of my big brothers has it. He's at home now, but he was on the oxygen. He was in the hospital for 10 days. He's doing everything. They upped his vitamin. This is real, and I'm not understanding why we taking this so lightly. Um, and even with that president dude, some of the stuff he's saying just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And we have to do better. What and what I want y'all to do, and I saw this on Facebook. There's a guy, he is my Facebook friend. He posted it in a group that he had it. And he didn't want to put it he didn't want to put it on his page because he didn't want everybody to know. Um and that to me was telling that you don't want everybody to know that you got it, but you'll put it in a group, and this is what a lot of people are doing because a lot of people don't want the attention that comes with having it or any of that. Um, and that to me is so amazing because the struggle is real. They going through some different things on their own, and they don't want to tell anybody, so they just kind of fade to the back and just keep moving. It's akin to depression because that's what depressed people do. They put out another front. They don't let you know what's going on with them. And to me, that is so amazing. Um, but when they saying it, like I said, I know people who told me like just happenstance. It's like, man, where you been? It's like, oh, I had this. And I was like, wow, why you say something? It's like they got their own reason because some of them don't want the attention that comes with it, and we just kind of forget about them. And I'm gonna take the fall for Pete, but I ain't got Pete's number, so I'm gonna blame Pete. Cause I will. I ain't gonna tell no lie. I will text you in a heartbeat. I will text you in a heartbeat just to check on you. Uh oh, I like that, Roy. I like that. I ain't seen that before. I like that, Roy. I like that. My producer hit me with some new stuff he ain't tell me about. Oh, damn, look at you. What's going on, Barbara? Fontel, ain't nobody got your number. Stop playing. Don't try that. You still in trouble. I'm sorry to hear that, Barbara. Yeah, it's real. And with the way he's going about it, telling the people, I saw his little thing where I'm gonna come out and kiss all the pretty women and the guys, and dude, this, if nothing else that he's done has told me he is how reckless he is. This was the point. What's up, Pink? What's up, my sister? for us to be so careless about this, and I hear people talking about masks and whatever, and I'm gonna get to the show. I'm gonna say this about masks because my wife told me something special. We get our oxygen from trees. For those of y'all that don't know how the whole transfer work, we put out carbon dioxide. Trees take that in. We take in the oxygen they put out. Trees don't put out oxygen at night. So, and for those of y'all who are old enough to remember, we first did CPR. The first thing they told you to do was those mouth to mouth. When you do mouth to mouth, guess what you're putting in? What they would, and they don't do mouth to mouth as much now, but you're breathing in. You're breathing into people. Pure carbon, pure carbon. It ain't killing people. So stop with these dumb reasons about what masks will and won't do. The masks are not to prevent molecules. It's to help protect you from the spittle that comes out of people's mouths sometimes because there's a airborne virus. So let's start with some of the madness. If you don't know, just say you don't know. What's up, Chloe? Y'all got to check out my girl Chloe. She got a couple of shows going. Flawed as fuck. I think it's tomorrow night. Chloe, put up a little. No, I'm sorry. Chloe, put up a little thing when your show is. She keeps saying she's gonna have me as a guest, and I'm gonna give her credit. She was the first one to have me on the Love Chronicles. I want to say that might have been 5 years ago. So she created this, and if I'm being totally honest, Chloe was the first one to have me try to get me to speak publicly because she knew I was a keyboard gangster, and I tried to tell her how shy I was, and she truly didn't believe me. I don't know why she didn't, but yeah, Barbara, and let's talk, yeah, because mine ain't even low key, but I'm managing it during this time because that's what we got to do. What's up, Ernest Moore? So back to the show. I just wanted to get over that. And like I said, Pete, I want to thank you for coming forward with that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know anybody who has it, there's people on the show talking about it. Talk to somebody who has it and listen to what they go through. It is not like the common cold. It is not like the flu. It is something totally different. When I listen to my brother and a couple of my friends tell me all the stuff they went through, that is something serious, ladies and gentlemen. Stop letting people who ain't never had it, who ain't never been through it, tell you, oh, it's this and this and this. You might have had something, and I heard, oh, if you had this, you probably had it. Hey, I'm telling you, people who I know who have been diagnosed with it, they ain't saying nothing like it was like a common cold, only worse. Oh, no. It's a whole different animal. So talk to some people who have it. I didn't want to put Pete out there too much, but talk to Pete. Hell, Barbara doing her thing, talking does relieve a lot of stuff. Ask her about how people go through it. Crystal is saying her cousin in New Mexico tested positive. 9 years old, 10 years old, testing positive from his teacher. This shit is real. I don't understand what the rush is. All these people who claim they got a civil right to just be totally reckless when it is killing people. Even for the ones who ain't killing, it's leaving them. It's leaving them with something. Remember how we used to talk about when AIDS first came out? We were talking about it's the gift that it never goes away. Same thing. This just ain't that. So stop being so careless with it. If you believe in your freedoms and you don't want to wear a mask and all this, hey, that's fine. Do what you do in your house and your space. When you come within 6, respect their space. Respect their space. You know what I'm saying? I mean, life is just kind of that simple. But here we go. I'm gonna have Chloe on my show one day. You know what I'm saying? Me and Chloe like to go back and forth at it. Chloe had me about to jump on some people want to know my 401k while we on a date. You ain't even finna get an application. You want to know what I'm gonna do in retirement? Get up out of here. But she my girl. She full of hellfire and brimstone, but she got a good heart. So one day we're gonna do one day we're gonna do a part 1 on one of our show and a part 2 on our show so we can reap in visitors. Chloe, did you put up your show information? When is it? When is it? What you got going? She said I lost a classmate back in August. He been in the hospital since March. Another classmate in the hospital for 3 weeks, but his dumb ass back kicking it on Sunday with no mask. So and that's how I feel. I just don't to me, it's kind of serious. I'm just not. I'm not about being out there with everybody like that. Like I said, two of the people who I care about the most are high risk. So there's no need for me to put myself out there just to make other people feel better. I don't give a shit how you feel. Okay, so your show is on Tuesday. I'm sorry, what's today? I don't even know what the day is no more. Today is Wednesday, so your show is on Tuesday. Put up a little something, something. Chloe, help me out now. I know it's called Flawed as Fuck, but that ain't the way it's spelled. And you do another one. I want to say you got 2 or 3 shows. All I know is she had me on Love Chronicles. You can look it up on YouTube. I think it's three segments, but this was a few years ago. All right. But yeah, okay, let's go back to facts, friendships, and foolishness. I've been watching people who saying they will defriend people because of their political views or religious views. And I'm like, do we really pick friends based on their religious or political views? Is this how we pick mates? I seen a couple of posts from people like and it's like, oh yeah, anybody on my timeline who I see is a Trump voter. Oh, I'm defriending them. So the girl said, well, I'm a Trump voter. You going to defriend me? I said, oh, well, we'll have to talk about it. Why does somebody's belief, what people believe in has nothing to do with me? How they treat me has to do with me. Me and Chloe, we disagree about damn near everything because that's what we do. That's the fire and ice in a relationship. But Chloe, cool people. If she called me and needed something, I wouldn't have no problem doing it. Even though we disagree on a ton of stuff, I wouldn't have no problem doing it because we still cool people. Uh, you know, she got some things that she says about men. I got some things I say about women, but that's what we're supposed to do because we're looking at it from 2 different perspectives. So I'm so confused on why the way people think or the way they their religion. My play sister Pink, Pink is it. You know what I'm saying? Pink is a God fearing. Everything she does in honor of God. Pink is so me and Pink are so cool because you know what Pink doesn't do? She doesn't push that on me. She does her thing and I applaud her for everything she does because that's what her heart is telling her to do. And that's all I really care about. If you're doing what your heart says and you ain't hurt nobody, hey man, go for it. It don't have to be my belief. It's got to be yours. And if you live in your life the best way, if you living like you talking, I ain't got nothing but love for you. Nothing but love. And that's as best as it can get. So when people start talking about they're gonna end friendships because of this, and I do know some people who are Trump supporters. Their roles, their beliefs are way different than mine. Some of these people, they don't have kids. They worried about them. They watching their 401k. They're into the financial aspects of what he's doing. Can I knock him for his finances? If you're in the stock market and know what you're doing, he's been doing a good job. From what I understand, I don't have stock, but from what I understand, he's doing a good job. You haven't unfriended a single person, but you've been unfriendly. Barbara, you always unfriendly, so that ain't really saying that. What's up, Jay Farfaris? You made a post earlier. I'm gonna have to talk about Salaronda. What's going on? Um, so yeah, I'm amazed at how many people take these things so seriously to the point of defriending them. That's like saying we always have to agree and get along with everything, which to me is insane. Who does that? What's the point of having somebody in your life, be it a friend, an enemy, or whatever, if y'all always agreeing? What are you learning then? If y'all always agreeing, what are they teaching you? Nothing, because you're always in agreement with everything they say. So to me, y'all kind of wasting time. Because all y'all doing is, yeah, you're sitting there. So if Roy agree with everything I said, why would I need to talk to him? Because all he gonna do is agree with what I'm saying. I don't need somebody to agree with me. I need somebody to enlighten me, to educate me on some things that I either don't know or don't understand. To me, that's the purpose of friendships. But clearly, they ain't what everybody looking for. um, so this is the thing we got to get around. This is why so many of us are caught in weird repeat cycles, because we want to surround ourselves with like people. And when you surround yourself with like people and you always fussing about your situation, remember, you're surrounding yourself with people who are just like you. So you set yourself up in a perpetual spin cycle of foolishness and fuckery. That's a choice that you made. And like I say, I know people. Sal appears to be one. There are people who are truly not religious fanatics, but they believe in it, and that's what gets them through the day. I have nothing but love and support for them. As long as you don't try to push your ways on me, we all to the good. Respect me like you want me to respect you. If you respect my uh if you respect my feelings, I can respect your feelings. All right, let me give y'all this quick commercial so I don't get in trouble. If you're at home and you have access to Roku or Fire Stick, go to YouTube and check out this show. Search for MyJBN Online. All right, I have
That
to
wasn't
give
for
y'all
you.
that. I get it. Oh,
That was
but
for them.
everybody can't.
Oh,
Okay, I'm getting. I get in trouble even when I'm doing right. Anyway, for the rest of y'all that's on my personal page, just come to Random Thoughts with EVP so people can see what you're talking about. Nicole, come on over here. How you gonna get that? How you gonna get that? Free makeover if you're over there. Michelle, come on over here. Jermaine, come on over here. Carl Junior, come on over here. Allison, J Far, cause I'm gonna have you on the show. Barbara, come on back. Dewana, Naima, Pink. Oh, did I? Real Kings Rock LA Pink. Even I've been wearing the same one for a minute because I like it. It's what I do. Right. Sal says your choice is your choice, and that's all you got to do. Is you got to live in your truth. And if your truth is wrong for everybody else, they got choices like going home. They ain't gotta stay there. Mike, come to Random Thoughts, Michael. Oh, sure, you know what? Don't be typing on this page. Quit playing. Mike said, right. But what they do is what they do. I will tell you this. I will say this. When I was a cop, I worked. I would say I know that I worked for three racist people. There's nothing you can tell me. But while they were at work, they were cops first. Now I would never hang out with them. But listening to some of their language, which is funny, because if you ever worked around white people who got strong wills, they hate I ain't gonna say they dislike black people as much as they dislike crappy white people. Oh, the things they say about white people who they think are bottom of the barrel. It's hilarious. Two, it's hella hilarious. You guess that's why you single, because you don't show up on time, Fontella. But that's a whole another show. I ain't gonna talk about you. Oh, speaking of, let me say this. Tomorrow, tomorrow, and every for the next 2 Thursdays, I'm at a church on Avon Avenue where they are feeding the hungry. First come, first serve. Uh, if you don't need food but you want to help, there's a big semi truck that comes in. If you want to help unload the truck, they need volunteers to help unload the trucks and put it in people's cars. So that's something, as part of my give back to the community. I like going out and helping the people. I rearrange my work schedule just so I could be there for this. Pink is there. If you know anybody who's in need with clothes, food, they got so much. Pink gonna be on the show one day. They got so much that they helping people in the streets with, getting IDs, finding a place to live. Like I said, just getting something clean to wear so that they feel like a human. These are things we can do. Check her out, LA Pink. Like I said, if you got clothes or something, hit me up. I'll put y'all in touch with each other. But let's stop making our personalities dictate who we will and who we won't be with because somebody's not like us. You may learn something. You may learn something because when I do this, and I tell you people all the time, I'm on Facebook. I do a lot of social media when I do log on. I'm in like 100 something groups because sometimes I want to know stuff, and the best way I found to know stuff is to talk to people who don't know you. So I will put stuff in other groups, people who live outside of my area, people who don't know DVP. Because they ain't saying nothing to impress me. What they're doing is they're speaking their reality, whether I like it or not. And I look at the way people post sometimes, and the first thing people want to do is tell them how wrong they are. Well, you can't tell me I'm wrong for living my life. What you can tell me is that you don't like it. But if you look at the questionnaire, it didn't say, do I care if I like what you're doing? I'm gonna pick on Fontella because she's here. But when I do stuff, when me and Trina, when I go get something from me and Trina, I have never called Fontella and said, hey Fontella, what do you think I should get Trina? So if me and Trina eat fish, Fontella says, oh, why y'all got fish? Don't nobody care. Nobody care. And I'm looking at people who, and I talk about this because they're cyber bullies and they act like they don't know it. But if all you try to do is shame people who don't agree with you or who don't like what you're saying, my mama used to tell me, If you ain't got to live, sleep, or eat with them, F them in a bad way. My dad used to say, if they can't whoop your ass, they can't make you change your mind. Them is two things I learned to live with. Uh, and but that's not how I base my friendship. I mean, Crystal and Darren, I ain't never met them, but as soon as they come here and we're gonna build some stuff in the yard, we going to hang out because they just cool people. They came to the show one time. I went to the page. Man, they living life like it's golden. I love that. Wanda, my girl from way back. Wanda will check me when she think I'm wrong. I ain't never threatened to defriend Wanda. We might not talk for a couple of hours, but I want that. Me and Roy don't always agree. Hell, me and Roy done spent whole shows disagreeing. But guess what? The next week come, he sent me my link to do the show. I'm back on here, and me and him still cool. And this is the thing we gotta understand, that the disagreements are what make you stronger. Roy has shown me some things I never thought of, and I'm gonna speak for him. I probably shown him a couple things that he never thought of, and it still don't mean we have to agree. It just means we never thought of it that way. And that's the important thing, is sometimes getting a different insight. Because Roy has led Roy's life. DVP has led DVP's life. That means we haven't done the same thing. So when we say, oh, why you do that? Well, yeah, maybe when I did it, I liked it. When you did it the wrong way, and it just didn't work. He late shaking his head because I see it now, but I ain't paying him no attention. Uh, and this is one of those things that we got to do, because I can truly say most of my friends, one, ain't got good sense. Because if you got too much good sense, we probably ain't gonna get along with, because you saying stuff I don't want to hear. What's up, Arlene? Congratulations. Um, but they bring something to the table. They bring something to the table. You know how they say, you can, if you listen to a drunk, you will learn some things. You got to have that open mind and be, yeah, and be like that. They don't all have to be your friends. They just need to be people that you can pick up something from. What was that I just heard? Did y'all hear that?
Oh, that was my phone. My bad.
Oh, I was like, damn, I'm hearing voices. Hey man, I'm finna end the show, bro. I'm like, I heard a woman's voice and ain't nobody around me. I panicked. Woo, woo, boy, I got
Yeah,
scared.
yeah.
Arlene, come to random thoughts for DVP.
It was a woman's voice too. It's for
I
notifications on my
know, bro.
phone.
I ain't crazy. I know what I heard, but hey, you know how they say, everybody act like they didn't hear that, but shit, I heard something. Yeah, y'all went finna make me see Roy terrorizing me. But yeah, but that's what we gotta do, and we have to start developing friendships. Sometimes we all got foolish friends, and you know what? We use them as a guideline, because I'm sure y'all got one of these friends. Don't act like it's just me. That if you say something and they cool with it, you know that you're losing your mind. Because back in the day, I had a friend, and I was just joking one day. I was like, man, this shit ain't going good. I'm thinking about robbing the bank. And dude was like, yo, man, I've been waiting on you to say that. I'm like, what? What? What you mean you been waiting on? He's like, yo, man, I know if anybody got a plan, you will have one. So if you down with it, I trust you. You know what? The light went off. Nah, this is too out there. If he ready to jump on this plane, dude, why you think I know how to rob a bank? Anyway,
Cause
but
you was a cop.
and he was a cop.
Oh no,
But
I
he was
said because you were a cop.
oh, he
Like
was too.
I had a similar situation where somebody told me that because when I was planning on being an attorney, I spent a lot of time working with some other attorneys who are criminal attorneys, and we spent a lot of time actually developing scenarios on how to commit crimes, and it was crazy because they were saying that's part of the way that they're able to deal with that kind of stuff and to be able to follow some of it. So
Well, and unfortunately, I had cable TV, y'all, and I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. To be a good cop, you got to have some criminal-minded tendencies.
you do.
But I stayed at Holiday Inn Express, and I had the cable package, so I saw a lot of things. That's how I become educated. I don't know none of this stuff personally, but these are the things that we got to do. And as you deal with people, like I said, I've never met Darren and Crystal. I know Crystal. Crystal's husband has a great name. He spelled it the wrong way, but he seemed like a good dude. Other than the fact his parents spelled his name the wrong way, he can get that changed, Crystal. By the way, I think it's $175 to get the I in there like it's supposed to be. But it ain't a deal breaker. Um, most of you guys I've never met in person, or we had true interactions other than Facebook. Um, my Mike might love to argue, and he's seen people on my page. Mike jump on in there, might act like he my big brother. Sometimes he just jump on in there and start jumping on people. And I tell people, once it's on the page, it's fair game. I ain't gonna. I don't call nobody off of nobody but Trina. I have to call Trina off of people because it don't even be about her protecting me. When Trina sees stupidity, Trina like to just go in. Trina is the one who taught me. For those y'all who don't know, when you say something crazy, first thing I'm doing is going back to your page. Trina taught me that to investigate your page to see if you're sane or not. And I'll take stuff off your page and post it to show how crazy you are or not. Like the people who like to argue with me about politics, and if I go to their page, every time they post something, it's only got no comments and 3 likes or 3 little faces. That tells me you got no friends and most of your thoughts are crazy. Because you got friends, they just don't interact with you when you start talking crazy. Um, but yeah, so but when we do this is again, this is how we become educated. This is how we become knowledgeable. You know, we talk about this ain't gonna be a show about that, y'all. So don't get carried away. We talk about the poly lifestyle. We talk about the swinging lifestyle. It don't work for everybody, but there are some people that work for. Get educated on the process. It still may not work for you, but at least know what you're talking about. Don't just take the street knowledge. Like I took the street knowledge about some stuff. The streets are often wrong. The streets are often wrong. So don't listen to the streets. The streets ain't done on nothing but did a lot of shadow bullying, telling you shouldn't do this, telling you shouldn't do that. I'm sure Roy has heard more than his fair share of time about how he should find a real job and stop pursuing his dream. Why? As long as he can support himself, do what you gotta do. You know, unless you're trying to be a rapper at 50 something. Ixnix that. Ixnix that. Unless you want to be old sluggy slug. Um, but if you can support your dream, hey man, that's the reason we work 2 or 3 jobs sometimes. I mean, hell, look at me. I'm a 50 plus year old farmer. I'm a little too old to get this farming thing going. But Trina don't seem to care. She got me a shovel, had me out there digging ditches. I just have to make sure they ain't 6 feet wide and 6 feet deep, because just on any case. But we doing what we do. But ladies and gentlemen, stop being upset. The line. I just told everybody how Fontella just said, "Go Trina." See, I'm in here saying good stuff. Come on and show your face now. Why? Get on. See how she doing? She over there talking track. Come on, what you got on? Oh, come on. That's how you. Come on. They want to see you. They ain't seen you in a minute. See, this what happened. You just lose total control. People just interrupt your show and stuff like that. And what's Zuri? Um, but yeah, pick your friends based on the fact that y'all are different sometimes. Pick your friends based on the fact that they can show you something that you never thought about. Pick your friends based on the fact that some are fun, some are crazy fun, but some are just interesting. That you don't have to have them in your circle all the time. I mean, you know, Roy. I would call Roy a friend, even though Roy trying to get me to do something crazy next week. But Roy crazy
Next
like
month.
that, so I let him. Okay, Roy trying to get me to do something crazy next month. My check my AARP representative and see what they say. Um, but this is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta do. We gotta deal with facts first, and this goes back to the voting. Everybody has done something good. Everybody has done something bad. All politicians, each and every one of them lie. Each and every one of them. Some of them lie intentionally. Some of them lie unknowingly. But they all lie. How we take it is how we take it. But when we're doing this, early in the year, I used to tell people, quit saying crazy stuff and making me defend 45. Hold on right quick. Somebody want to say hey to y'all, my fashion designer. See, we dressed her like her spots are just bigger than mine. Wave to him.
Hi.
Just wave to the camera. Tell him your name.
Zuri.
Say my name is Zuri.
My name is Zuri.
How old are you, Zuri?
Good.
You
I
go,
mean 5.
you I say, oh, okay. You gonna host your own show one day?
Hmm?
You gonna host your own show one day?
This is my own show. You.
Oh, this your own show? Oh. No need to have me around, huh? She got her own show. All right. So you want to tell them anything? They can hear you. You can't hear them.
Oh look.
That's you.
What does that mean?
Yep, that's you. You want to say anything to them? Don't be making faces at them. See, it
Then
ain't
why am I not doing the same thing as here?
because this one is real time. This one is what they see, so it's a delay.
Weird. I like. Um. Oh, the little things are moving.
Yep, it's because people liking it and they speaking to you.
Ooh.
You good now? Can
Uh.
can I have my show back?
No, I want to stay,
You
please.
want to stay? Okay, you can stay for a minute, not too long. All right, I got a co-host.
So, and then.
Dula says you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. I guess it all depends on who your friend is. Why? Hold on, you got to keep your head in one
Look,
spot.
pictures.
Yeah, that's your picture. Dula, come to Random Thoughts with DVP. Arlene, same thing. Hey, Sierra Patrice. All right, I forgot what I was talking about since somebody took over the show.
Ooh. Heck.
All right, so see, this is what I have to put up with all the time. It's not child abuse; it's elder abuse. It's elder abuse. All right, so she's gonna be my fashion designer. She tells me what color I gotta wear for every show. So let's see, what's the question? Michael says, "Do you have any friends that hate white people just because they're white?" I think I do. Now I know some, but they not my friend. We don't ask Jews to like Hitler, but they don't. Right, and I won't say. I can say what I want to, Sierra. Don't get in trouble. Uh, yeah, I won't say. And let me correct myself. I won't say that I got friends who do. I know people that hate people just because they're white. So yeah, it is what it is. You all right though?
Yeah.
See, this is what I did with when, and I got a show going on. Just think if I didn't have a show going on. You want to tell them about the chickens right quick? We might as well get a commercial break in. Do you like?
We got the chickens and they're in their chicken coop right now. Hey, I can't see them.
But you gonna go back out there and see them later on? She gonna be my chicken helper. Tell mommy hey.
Hey, mom.
All right.
Can I? I can't hear.
No, you can't hear. All right. All right. Let me do this now. I gotta have some grown folk conversation. Tell them bye. I don't know how I lost control just like that. Just like that.
Children will do that to you, man.
Whew. Hey, let me just say this right quick. The worst thing that ever happened to men is having daughters. They make punks out of you. You just lose control and you don't even know where you got it from. Just don't know where it came from. Um, yeah, that's why I do part of what I do. I want to leave something behind for her. I want to make sure she's well trained and she got all the tools she need to be successful at the end of the day. Um, I'm lost now, bro. What was I at before? What was I before the show got took over?
You
What
were
was we talking about?
you were talking about not having to. Oh shoot, I don't even remember. So let's go to another topic
See,
because I don't even remember neither.
see,
That's
and
it. You're
and
right.
the
That's what the
thing
kids
is,
do.
you shouldn't have to defend. You shouldn't have to defend your belief system. You should be able to explain it, but you shouldn't have to defend it to somebody to be their friend. If you only want to be my friend because you think, oh yeah, there you go, dude. Because I think a certain way, or because I'm a Democrat, they're retarded Democrats. They're retarded Republicans. There's nothing that's 100% ever gonna always be your way. So you got one standard for true relationships, and you got other standards for just basic relationships. So for me to say I'm gonna discount people because they're Trump supporters, and what's the thing says, uh, not all racists support Trump, but all Trump supporters are racist, something like that. I I,
Well,
I
so
can't.
hold on.
What?
Okay, it's a couple of them out there. One of them says that not saying that all Trump supporters are racist, but they have decided that racism isn't a deal breaker.
Right.
So
And
that's
and again, as we look at levels, and I know some of y'all gonna get upset, but it's okay. This is my show. It's no different than when a lot of people decided to defend R. Kelly, to defend Bill Cosby. We all have our own standards for what we will and won't accept. I know. Remember, I was a cop. I know parents of murderers. You think the parent gonna put their child down? They have to accept what it is, but they not finna sit there and say nothing bad about their child. So does that mean that they should be dismissed? I mean, we got all these sayings that we like when they work for us, but soon as it's not in our favor, then we got to flip it. I hate the thing where, oh, if you ain't saying nothing, then you complicit. Well, maybe I ain't saying nothing because I don't know nothing, and I don't want to judge prematurely. Because you're only supposed to speak when you have knowledge and facts, right? Not just based off emotion, because that's what happens to us too often. And that's how we end up having dumb friends. We end up in dumb relationships. We keep putting ourselves in foolish positions because we don't know when to shut up and just listen, because we think we have to say something. But then when it's time to say something, we quiet. Why you so quiet? I ain't got nothing to say. Oh no, but if you don't say nothing, that means you agreeing with it. No, what it means is I just don't have enough information to say something. When all y'all send me questions about law stuff, and I tell y'all, give me a couple of weeks. Let me get some information. Once I get some information, I will come back and tell you what I think from a legal perspective. And I watched some of the judge confirmation. A lot of things that I have to do when I'm talking to you guys, especially when y'all send me questions, is I have to separate how DVP feels versus what the law says. I don't agree with every law, but guess what? It's still the law. My not liking it don't change what it is. And this is one of those things where, oh, you got to condemn. Condemning it is going to change what? Nothing. So I have to accept what is and work on that. We just had a holiday that I will never ever agree with. I'm upset that more people ain't speaking out about it. We talk about everything, but we don't talk about eliminating the holiday of one of the biggest thieves in the history of thievism. You want to come say hello to him? She's sitting over there. I'm sorry. She's standing to my right, looking all cute. She don't want to talk to y'all. Hey, that she is. All right. What's unfortunate, most people don't fully know the damage Trump is doing. Right. They don't know the damage because they don't want to know. And you got people who are downplaying it, or they doing a bait and switch. And it sucks that some of us are doing the same thing. When I try to debate people, I try to stick with facts. Every now and then I put something there that I've later found out ain't right. But I try to stick with factual data. Which is why the coronavirus is right now it's the E for me, because as you've seen from this show, a lot of people who watch the show either know somebody who has it or are dealing with it. What's up, Austin? I ain't forgot you, bro. I just been busy. I'm gonna hit you this evening after the show. Um, but this is what we got to do. What's wrong? Oh, so and it's okay. I mean, I knew people who didn't like me because I was a cop. That was their whole reason for not liking me. What am I gonna do about it? I mean, I was a cop. I wasn't finna change my career just for them. It's done me. It's done me. It's done great by me. The thing is, you have to get to know people. I know people who other people don't like. They're like, how you get along with them? Well, they treat me like this. Well, they did this. They did that. I can't. I can't. I can't justify how they treat you versus how they treat me, unless they're doing something that's criminal to you. Because, and I'll use Dooley. When I first met Dooley, I didn't like Dooley. I thought Dooley was crazy. Well, he still is. I just verified it. But there are people who like Dooley that didn't like me. That has no bearing on us. I'm sure Trina has some people who don't like me, but you keep them in different spaces so that you can progress. Hell, I had a birthday party. I had 3 birthday parties at 3 different places, and only 2 people got invited to all 3 because I had to keep people separate. That was the only reason I did it, because in my whole life, I've only planned 1 real birthday party, and well, the 3. And I knew certain people didn't need to be there, but they wanted to be a part of what I was doing because they were good enough to be called close friends, not real friends, but close friends. So I did that for them, so that everybody wouldn't be in the same place and be uncomfortable. There go Patricia Bush in the house. She don't like the Patriots, so but I still have to give her a shout out.
Well, I like Patricia already,
What? Hold on, you a Heat fan? Didn't y'all just lose again? But anyway,
but we got them. Who was your basketball team?
I'm a New England. I'm still gonna be with the Celtics.
So, you really don't need to talk. He beat that ass. And yes, you know I've been a Heat fan and a Dolphin fan since day one. Yes, I'm
Oh yeah,
struggling
well,
through my
I was
Dolphinness.
I still got my Marino jersey. I was a Dolphin fan. I was a Marino fan. Let me say that I was a Marino fan.
Right.
What game, Dooley? You ain't got no game. Stop the madness. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break so I can get me something to drink and talk trash to the people who ain't on the right page and get them to come on over. So before we take a break, if you want to advertise on the show, get with me. I'll hook you up with Roy or go to Roy Evans or my JBN if you want to advertise on the show page. All right, Roy, take me out for a quick break.
I'm returning to Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being heard.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time consuming. That's why, when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m.
Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock
In downtown Atlanta.
For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992.
Or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com.
For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant.
Authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the
Oh, so y'all up here, y'all just doing y'all just there you go. Sierra, you the troublemaker from work. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Okay. Oh, let me tell you about Sierra right quick. Sierra leaves the door unlocked and puts on makeup when she think the burglar coming, cause she want to look good for the burglar. Then she'll come to work later on, cause she don't normally wear makeup to work, except for days that she expecting to break in. I just had to say, oh, you hungry now? Hey, blame Roy for that. Roy, you got one of my viewers upset because now they hungry. Hey, what y'all cooking? I mean, FedEx ship. I'm just saying. All right. So anyway, I want y'all to just have more open mind about who your friends are and stop judging them and expecting them to be just like you or expect them to agree with you all the time. You're gonna have agreements. You're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have times when y'all ain't saying the same thing. It's okay. Become educated enough to listen or become more educated enough to give them some information so they can see either why they should think differently or expand their horizons. See? I mean, and life is just that simple. Everything should be about an exchange of information, you know. And unfortunately, this one time where it may not be 50-50. Sometimes people know more than you. Trina's sitting there telling me some stuff about photosynthesis, and I thought I was pretty smart. I didn't know trees didn't breathe at night. So shit, all night long the trees holding their breath. So while y'all out there having parties, they stealing from you. They ain't giving you nothing back. Okay, same thing. They stealing our carbon because we still putting ours out. See, so I got educated on something. And what were we talking about with the CP? It was something else we was talking about with oxygen in the mask. Yeah, but it was something else we talked about why people when they talk about why the mask don't work, the craziness. Yeah, right. Yeah, the virus ain't passed through oxygen and carbon. It's passed through droplets. But at least that's what the science is saying right now. So that's what's up. So just like I said, just be open to being educated, even if it's something they call it cognitive dissonance, where you believe in something so strongly that when you hear different, you rather fight than accept the truth of it. And I can give you a great example. I was a DT instructor, defensive tactics. The first thing that attracted me to Dooley used to do this armbar thing that he would show people how to is actually an arm breaking technique. It's a submission technique for contact wrestling. I never liked it because I didn't see how it would work for a small guy like me until I learned it. It will work for somebody of any size. I was like, wow. And that's when I learned that, hey, Dooley, even though he crazy, he might be on to something. He might know a little something. I didn't initially. Most defensive tactics instructors teach you techniques for big people. Dooley was taller than me, but he was a skinny dude too. But he knew his shit. So I accepted that. I embraced it, and I learned a couple of different techniques from him about how to do some things that, under normal circumstances, I probably would have never even been open to because I didn't trust the source. So I learned to be more open minded with that. And we have to do the same thing when we're dealing with people. Be a little open minded sometimes. We don't know everything. And most of us don't ever like being wrong or corrected. So if we deem somebody to be smarter than us or not on the same page with us, it's easier for us to talk bad about them than embrace them. What are you missing? The fact that you late, Ari? I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing, but yeah, you late. I love my people. Hey Mercedes, what's up? What's up? What's up? With you coming around the thoughts with DVP? All right. So again, we have to start embracing change and difference in a different kind of way. You don't have to have people in your personal circle, but sometimes it's good to go out and be around different people just so you can become educated on stuff. It's no different than sitting at that proverbial table. Sometimes when you're at a table and you don't know nothing and you got to shut up and listen, you can become so enlightened because you're listening to people say things that it never crossed your mind because you haven't been around those type of people. Um, you know, when I was explaining to Trina about life insurance and saving money, see, she had never had, like most of us, somebody to sit down and discuss money and finances and how to do this and how to do that. So, I'm sitting there explaining, and she's like, I ain't never know that. I ain't never know this. But she didn't sit there and buck the system. She just started being a sponge and soaking stuff in because this was something I just happened to know about. And I know it's one of them things that we like to keep secret. We have to share stuff. And it's okay to share stuff with people who don't know. And that's one of the things, we sit back, she'll show me stuff, and I'll be like, wow, I never even thought about that. And that's just kind of how it works. So that's what you got to do. You meet people. I've never met Austin, but me and him gonna have a conversation, and that's how life goes. Sometimes you just gotta talk to people that you don't know, because a lot of times they can give you a better perspective, simply because they ain't gotta try to impress you, simply because they're not seeking your approval. I've had people who will inbox me and they'll ask me about their case. And I'm like, listen, now I'm gonna just tell you what I see. You may like it, you may not, but it's not my job to pacify you. I had a friend call me, her son got in trouble. This is a friend. And I was like, it's not looking good. I got the report, I see it. And, well, he a guy. I'm looking at this police report. The police report says that your son ain't as good as you think he is. Well, what can I do? The best thing you can do is get him a good attorney. But I've had others who sent me stuff, and the cops were 96% wrong. But all I can do is give you the facts that I see. My personal opinion, I mean, I can offer you some personal advice on what to do. But when you give me what you give me, what I'm gonna give you 9 times out of 10 is it is the best advice I can give you based on the information that you've given me. And I tell people, you have to be as honest with me as you want me to be with you. If all you give me is your side, that's all you asking me to contribute to. But what are the facts? Not what's your interpretation. You know, I was driving fast, but I didn't know I was speeding. Well, the law don't say you got to know that you're speeding. The law just say you got to be speeding when I hit you with that radar. And ignorance is no excuse for the law. So I mean, there are a lot of little different factors that go on. Well, what can I do to? Hey, that's up to the judge. You know, you can throw yourself at the mercy of the court. For some judges that work, but some it don't. That judge is a whole personality thing. You got to sit there and know. Look how they doing it. You know, some judges like when you just come on in and take your punishment, but when you make them go through a trial and waste time, man, they unleash hell. But some judges like when people do challenge them so they can educate them, because some judges like educating normal people on the law. I can only tell you what the law says if you give me something. When people ask me about relationship information, I can only tell you what I've seen. I can tell you some of my personal stuff, but there is no one size that fits all. So, oh, I can't believe you do this. I would never do that. Well, that just means we wouldn't be a good match. If you're that closed-minded, that's all that means. That me and you can't date. We can still be cool. I know people who I'm cool with that we got different lifestyles, we got a lot of different things about it, but I like to have conversations with them because they introduce me to thought processes that I wouldn't normally have. Sometimes I watch shows that I wouldn't normally watch just because I need to see something different. And you know, me and Trinity Sun talk. Well, damn, how you think they came up with that? What do you think behind that? And it opens up a whole new world. Also says a problem with a lot of people love to comment or add input on things in life they've never been through instead of trying to actually get the answer or inquire on it to understand. And this is so true. And this is one of the things, you know, I used to tell people. I used to security at a strip club. The streets tell you one something about strippers, and that's pretty much what everybody go with. But once you're around them and you have a chance to talk to them, all strippers ain't nothing. Most strippers ain't nothing like what the streets say. And if you look at it from a business sense, it makes sense. A lot of it just makes sense. They're getting paid to be naked, which ain't a big deal, but they're getting money for it. And if they're good at it, they're getting quite a bit. I don't want nobody to see me naked, or if they do, I want them to see me for free. Well, when you got kids and your kids got to eat, if somebody can tell you that you can make $50, $60 an hour for dancing naked in front of people, I hear the excuses. But most of the people, oh, I'll find another way, and it's all good. Most at the time, most strippers went in it because they had run out of, they had exhausted all the other things. They couldn't get a job, you know, whether because they had a record, whether because for whatever reason, a lot of these things weren't options for them. They couldn't get this job and wait 2 weeks. Their kids are hungry tonight. They can't wait 2 weeks for a paycheck, and ain't no new job gonna give you no 2 week advance. And even if they do, guess what? In 2 weeks, you're still behind the hole. So you got to sit back and understand why they made something. You don't have to understand. You got to accept why they made choices that work for them. I mean, I don't. I didn't judge all dope boys or bank robbers, whoever, because people do stuff for a lot of different reasons. Doesn't make them a bad person. You have to understand that everybody has got their own breaking point. When you hit that breaking point, it is what it is. You don't do things as you normally would because there's a breaking point. You know, I've been lucky in that I did learn how to manage money early. But if I had a money management problem, what is it I would do to y'all saw my little girl? You think I ain't gonna do anything I can to feed her and keep her happy? Oh yeah, well you can get a job. Well, she's hungry right now. You telling me to go apply for a job, wait 2 weeks? What's that gonna do for her right now? You can go to a food bank. You can do this. The food bank just started to open back up. But again, why am I judging people based on the decision for something that they're doing based on the situation they're in? Because we don't want to know or understand it. We just want to judge them. Oh, I would never do that. Oh, I would never do this. But then we look at the things that people do that don't make a lot of sense, and they do them for free. somebody would just ask me, and I hate that phrase because I have just asked people for stuff just to see what they was gonna do, and they came up with excuse after excuse. It's like, but you said, and I know you got it. That's why I don't make that statement. I wouldn't give you the shirt off my back because if I give you the shirt off my back, then what I'm gonna do? Now, my sister Pink collects clothing and gives it out to homeless people. I get my stuff up, I donate it to her. Now, would I give her shirts? Yes. Would I give her the shirt off my back? If I'm going home, probably. Depending on whose shirt it is, because there are things I still value. There are gifts I got. I'm not just gonna give away because somebody else is in need, because that's my system. Um, but that's that thing. We have to judge people based on who they are and how they treat us, and then look how they treat other people. Does everybody deserve to be treated fairly? Does everybody have the same obstacles? Does everybody have the same support system? Sometimes people are put in different situations in life to learn different life lessons because everyone goes through different obstacles and ways of living every day by the way you were raised or what you were shown and what lane life just put you in. And that's so true. You know, I talk about some of my criminal past before I converted to the white side, the light, the white light side. Um, but all it took was one leg, one time me getting caught that would have changed my whole trajectory in life. But luckily, the people who had me in the game got me out of the game. So I'm in a different place. And it's why I am a little bit more sympathetic to people in it because I want to know why they're in it. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this because you're selfish and you just don't care who you hurting or whatever? And then that's when I start doing what people do, making judgment. But my judgment is simply based on who I will and won't allow in my circle, who I will and won't allow close to me. I still help people. They just can't come to my circle. Let me come to your circle, Chief. Oh, and y'all see I'm drinking out of a bottle because I forgot to wash my glass, and Trina ain't made me a new one, so I can show y'all little things by Clear. Go check it out. Um, and that's just where we at. Everybody don't get everybody don't get the benefit of having time to make a good decision sometimes. Sometimes life just come right at you and you have to make a decision. You know, one of the crazy post says, the ship overturned and your wife and your child are both drowned. You can only save one. Well, that's a cute thing. But until you're in that situation, you truly don't know what you'll do. You think you'll do this, you think you'll do that, but there are a lot of variables that come up. What time is it? How cold is the water? How good a swimmer are you? I'm watching people do this. Hey, you can't swim, so you really ain't finna save nobody. And self-survival is the most basic of instincts. And yeah, the morals and respect you carry, yeah, they have a big factor, but it's like Mike Tyson said, everybody think they a fighter till they get punched in. Getting punched in the face will tell you who is about that life and who ain't. There are a lot of people that talk a good game until you put it in the situation. I watch people who got the videos and everybody talk about having guns and what they do at the range. That's all well and good until somebody's shooting back at you. It's cute to be sitting there saying, oh yeah, look at my target, look at my target. Good deal. You're a good shot when there's no stress. I took one of my brothers to the range, put a little stress on him. Good shot when I ain't around. When I was there and I wasn't even shooting, I was just adding little stressors to him. His shot grouping was way off because you practice under I
Control.
forgot the word. Yeah, you practice under such controlled situations that you take all the variables out. That's kind of easy to shoot then. You don't have your adrenaline kicking in. Understand this. If you ever get a chance to go shoot, go to an outdoor range. Find a friend who got a bunch, 20, 30 acres. Run. Run 20 yards and shoot. And this is what I want you to do because you're going to cheat. You're going to run 20 yards. You're going to catch your breath, shoot. Run 20 yards. Time yourself. 15 seconds. Run 20 yards. Get off 5 shots in the target. See, now you add a little something to the game because you still ain't under no real stress. You just got your heart racing, which is what's going to happen 9 times out of 10 if you ever get involved in a true shootout. Your heart is going to start beating a little faster. You're going to get a little adrenaline dump. For those who don't know what adrenaline dump do, adrenaline dump gives you the shakes. until you learn how to control it. It's something that you got to deal with. You don't get that at a basic range. Two shots in the right target, 10 seconds. Two 10 seconds. See, I did one of those, and guess what? When I went to a combat course, I'm ready. I know how this go. I got all this memorized. When he said 10 seconds, I went up. He was behind me. He unleashed his submachine gun. So I hear made me change my focus. I didn't do what I was doing because now I had a distraction. Taught me a lot. Made me run. Made me switch different hands. Crystal, you so silly. But these are some of the things we got to do when we're practicing for stuff. So when people always say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," well, you truly don't know if you've never been in this situation. You truly don't know. You truly don't know. And you'll find out in life there's some situations that you will be in that you have a whole change of heart and they make you a better person. And there are things that you never thought you would ever be doing. Ever. Insane. Insane. But that's what happens. Because you ain't never think about something because you were always in a controlled environment that was sanitized with no distractions. See, when we talk about these relationships that we want to be in, everybody got their ideas of what they want. I want this, I want that, and it all sounds great in a controlled environment. Nobody plans on being unemployed in their controlled environment. Even when people make these dumb statements about what you make time for. When you got 2 kids, 3 kids, and they all got events at the same time, whose event do you go to? Because remember, we say you make time for those things that are important to you. So if you got 3 kids, then let's just say you got mom and dad. One of them kids is still getting left out. It's because you don't love them. Because what you say is you make time for what's important to you. And that's why I hate that statement. You have to make adjustments as life goes on. And y'all, any of you who get a real job and you moving up that ladder, when you got a choice, hey, you in management, you got to do this, but your kid has a game or something. You got a choice to make. You want your kid to be happy or you want that rent to get paid? See, when it ain't a real choice, everybody gonna say the same thing. Oh, I want my kids to be happy. I'm gonna do whatever I got to for them. And doing whatever you got to for them mean taking your ass to work to keep that check going. That's what that means. So sometimes they're gonna miss out. I don't think there are many people who can say with kids that they ain't missing events that they wanted to go to because of work or something else important came up. They weren't more important than the kids, but to keep the kids going, they had to do something that was important, and then it became more important than them at that time. But if you ain't got kids, or they only got one, they can say all these things. Or if they don't have that job where either you at the top of the food chain, but if you're somewhere in the middle, you got to make these exceptions on a regular basis. There are things I could do for my kids because of where I was on the food chain, but there are times I missed out because of where I was on the food chain. I own my own business. Guess how I'm doing your own business? When there's a problem to be solved, who you think got to solve it? That's why it's one of the good things is working for other people. Because you can call in sick. Roy is my JBN. When something go wrong with my JBN, or when Roy got a headache, Roy, who you get to call? Who do you get to call in sick with? Roy just gotta get up and fight through it.
Well, no, I got a few people now, but
yeah, but they work for you,
right? Exactly.
But if they don't come to work, then what you gonna do?
I got to do it myself.
You got to do it. Ain't no,
So to the converse of what you just said, though, on the opposite side of that, that was actually like I've been an entrepreneur / business owner. I mean, literally most of my adult life, even once I got married and I had a regular job, building my business was still my process. And I did that specifically for the reason that you were talking about, so that I can go to all of my kids' programs, and I never wanted work to be a reason for me not to be able to go. So I was always able to call off and be like, yo, look, I ain't going to be there today. And if they had a problem with it, they had a problem with it. Because, see, I had hustles on the side that I was making money with, too, so it didn't matter. So.
But when you become that guy, it sounds good in theory, but there are times when you're that guy when everybody else leave you, you got to
Got
step
to
up
get
to
it
your own
done.
thing because you care more about it. It's yours. And sometimes having your own business is a knock because you can't just up and be like, shit, I'll let so and so do it. Well, so and so done called off. There's just you. The client is looking at you. I got clients when I do my bodyguard work, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna get so and so to do it. They like, no, I want you. And I've had a couple of them pay too much to get just me, and I got to make a decision. Do I want to get this money and prepare for a future event, or do I want to have this emotional event and lose this money? It's a thought process, and depending on what's going on, there are times when getting that money for a future event made way more sense. So yeah, I gotta buy a gift because I missed the event. But at the end of the day, the process still works, and that's one of them things that when people say, "Oh, you make time for what's important." No, you make time for what you got to do because you should always be looking toward the future. You got to always keep that in sight. Uh, you know, can I make $10 a day, or can I make $100 by putting this $10 thing that I like on the side? Because a lot of times, what we like ain't our first choice. Because most time, what we like ain't that hard. No, raising chickens, yeah. Right now it's fun and games, but that's because it's new. Ask me in 6 months. But yeah, so let's stop judging each other based on decisions that we don't agree with. Let's try to understand why some people make some decisions if they're close enough where we can ask them, well, Roy, why'd you do this instead of this? Let's ask them and see what they say. Maybe it'll make sense. And if it don't, who cares? Are we paying their bills? If Roy called me, and Roy's done this, Roy said, hey man, I gotta go out of town. But then you have to go out of town. What was it, last week, Roy? Roy couldn't
Week
produce the show
before, yeah, week before
week
last.
before. But I wanted to do a show. So guess what? It wasn't no hard feelings. He got to do what he got to do for a future project. Even though, like I said, this wasn't no dispute between us, but the commitment is to me and Wednesdays from 6 to 8, whatever time the show is. But when something comes up, am I gonna be an asshole? Be like, oh man, you supposed to do this? Hey, Roy don't just shit me on a regular basis. So if Roy got something that he needs to do that's gonna make his vision bigger, Roy got to adjust his commitment level. That's business. I can't sit back and be like, man, I ain't mess with him no more. He told me he was gonna do this, and that's what a lot of us tend to do. He put something else in front of me. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to. He'll call me and say, hey man, you doing a show? There are times I ain't did a show because I had to work. I saw a chance to make some more money. But he done slotted out 6 to 8 in his time for me. But I couldn't give him no warning because hell, I didn't find out at 5 o'clock I wasn't gonna do the show. Man, I done put this. You got to do this. What is it? Shit happens. Shit happens, and you got to still keep moving and not take everything so personal. Uh, you know, I do what I do. When people call me and they want something, man, I try to get to everybody. But some days, everybody lose out. Rock can tell you, some days he lose out. Some days I lose out on my own shit. You think we ain't important to our own selves? But some days you put so much in front of you that you have to stop doing stuff, not because you want to, but because you're just simply exhausted. And guess what? Ain't nobody beat that exhaustion monster yet. I'm sure Roy done been doing shit and found himself looking up and 2-3 hours done passed by because his body said, I'm taking a nap. You can keep trying to type or do whatever you want to, but I'm finna take a nap. Roy was doing something at 3 o'clock and woke up at 6:30. He like, man, what happened? Your body don't play that game. When it want to sleep, it's going to sleep. No matter what you tell it. And friends, people who we cool with, they have to do the same thing. It don't always work for us, and sometimes they can't give us notice. Let's stop judging them and saying, oh, if you was a friend, you would have did this. If you was a friend, you would have did that. Roy could get a flat tire right now. And if Roy called me, we friends. But from where Roy stay and where I stay, we probably about an hour and some change from each other. I would come up with some different options before I would tell Roy I would come to him. I would try to come up with some different options that made more sense from a time sense, not necessarily a friendship thing, because to me, the friendship ain't what's the question. The question to me is, can we do this more efficiently and more effectively? And that's what we got. And and it's crazy. I'm gonna take her out the picture now. My ex-wife had a flat tire. We were, what's the word? We weren't living together. What's the word for that? We weren't
Chatting?
divorced yet. No,
No.
no. We were separate. We were separate. That's the word.
Oh. Like,
But she still had my kids. But she called me. She had a flat tire. She wanted me to come fix the flat tire. I got triple A. You 2.5 hours from me. It's dark. It's right. Okay, I got triple A and I got a credit card, so I'm gonna call. I actually called a friend of mine who happened to be 20 minutes away. She didn't want to get in the car with him. One man, you ain't even on good terms. I'm only doing this because you got my kids. But she was upset because she assumed, rightfully so, that I was with another woman. But we were separated, trying to go through a divorce. But why should I? And she tried to make it. Oh, if you cared about your kids, it's gonna take me 2 to 3 hours to get to where you are. That's if I leave right now. So let's just say it's gonna take me 2.5 hours to get to where you are. It's cold, it's rain. Why do I want my kids out in the cold and the rain for 2.5 hours when I can get them a cab and y'all can go home? I can call my friend with a tow truck and he can come tow the car either to the house or to another mechanic. She was not hearing it. Her whole thing was, why wouldn't I come do it? Why would I come do it? It'll make you feel better because I ain't with another woman. It'll make you feel better because I came in and did it. It'll make you feel better because you feel safe and secure with me. We're going through a divorce. That can't be it. But and that's the crazy part about it. Sometimes your decisions ain't gonna make sense to the person that you're deciding for because they want what they want and they're not giving it any other consideration. There have been times when my mother has asked me to do something. I was dead tired. Ma, I can't do it. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to have a wreck on the way to come see you, but I know that I'm tired. You think she gonna keep saying, "Well, I don't care. If you love me, you get over being tired and drive anyway and run." My mama ain't that crazy. And sometimes that's what we have to accept for other people. Yeah, Ronnie asked me to do stuff when I was at work. Roy ain't never said, "Hey man, why don't you leave work then?" Cause you know why Roy ain't said that? Cause one, it's stupid. Two, it's stupid. Three, it's stupid. Why would I leave work? This is where I'm making money. This is where I'm making money. Right? Hey, can you do this, man? Hey, I'm going to Miami for the week. Roy, can you postpone your trip to Miami to after we do the show? What? That's stupid and selfish. All right. So let's get beyond that. Let's let people express themselves. Um, we talking about with 45 and his supporters. Um, hey, if that's the Kool-Aid they drinking and they going through the Jim Jones thing in life, why sit there and argue with them? Let them have whatever it is. If you want to do fact check, and there's some people who I like to do it with. I'm sure they ain't watching the show because that's not what they're gonna do. One thinks I'm a reptile, which tells me his level of stupidity. Because if I thought I was talking to a reptile, I wouldn't keep talking to him. Hell, I wouldn't even send him a friend request. The other one, and this is gonna be my one racist statement, and I'm gonna let Roy be the judge if it's racist or not. But for me, it's a racist statement. I don't ever want a white person telling me what I should feel or think as a black man. You are so out of your lane. You are so misguided. You are so feeling entitled right now. Hell, I can't tell Roy how to feel as a black man because I ain't been through Roy's experience.
nah,
But
that ain't
for,
racist.
but for a white woman to tell me how I should feel, and she also told me I should listen to Candace Owens, Diamond and Silk. She gave me like 4 or 5 black people I should listen to become informed. Y'all got y'all kids around the thing? I'm thinking, bitch, please. How dare you tell me what black people? How the fuck? How did you get to this where you feel like you could tell me who I should listen to understand my blackness? That's no different than the argument with people who were talking to me about being a cop. Well, you a cop. I was a cop for 22 years. I'm 55. I've been black the whole time. The blackness never went away. Brown uniform for being a sheriff, blue uniform for being military. This was always what it was. So for somebody outside of it to tell me how I should feel in this, Roy can't tell me how I should feel as a black man. Roy can tell me what being a black man means to him and some of the things that he would like to see from black men. Ariel can tell me some of the things that she would like to see from black men, but they can't never challenge my blackness as a man. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It is what I do. Hell, if I'm a serial killers got their own mindset. I can't tell them that they wrong. I don't like what they doing and it's illegal, so I get to judge twice, but that works for them. It makes them happy. And as the same nitwits who talk about the constitutional rights, what don't the Constitution say something about you got the right to travel? The Constitution says things that people try to take too literally. And there are conditions for everything. And we try to argue these. We argue about the freedom of speech. And and everybody love number 7, freedom of speech. But when Kanye says something, then he's doing something different. What makes Kanye's freedom of speech different from number 7's freedom of speech, or even 45? 45 made a statement about God chose him. So if he believes that, whose God is right? Is his God right, or is Biden's God right, or is Obama? Who? Because I ain't knocking none of y'all religious people, but God ain't said nothing to me. But if I got 3 people who believe in God and they all got a different ideology or what their God is saying, who am I to say whose God is right or whose God is wrong? That's their belief. It works for them. My job is to sit back and make judgments that work for DVP. And that's where we get into this whole foolishness thing, because if people say stuff that we don't want to hear or that don't go with our ideology, we want to call them out. Why? Why? It just doesn't work for me, so guess what? I'm going to let them live in their truth. Kanye spoke a truth that we didn't want to hear. Kanye said, and I've repeated this before, Kanye said we prefer brands over land. There's a big truth to that. See this shirt I got on, old nice looking shirt. It ain't no name brand. So I got to say $35. Right, and the same way they are with my indigenous people. But we can't keep judging people off things that we don't know don't affect us. How they feel is how they feel. Darren and Crystal, one of my favorite couples, they got a way they do things. Will they work for Darren and Trina? May or may not. But they can't. Crystal cannot sit back and criticize me or Trina for what we do if it works for us. No more than I can criticize Darren. Darren, you should do this. If Crystal like what Darren is doing, that works for them. That works for them. See, Trina got what a guy that don't cook. Rule number 1 is, hey, he don't cook. I know lots of Roy cook his ass off. Everybody got a different standard and that works for them, and that's the only thing we got to let them be them and decide where we fall into that realm. If cooking is something that's important, me and Roy talked about this before, preferences and priorities. What's a priority in your list versus a preference? And a preference is something that's negotiable. Priorities are non-negotiable. So you can have preferences and priorities for friendships. No pedophiles, no this, no that, whatever. Your preference is they got good sense. Maybe they got good credit. Maybe they got a good working car, whatever they are. But we can't sit back and just start discounting people in their lifestyle because it's not what I would do. It's not this, it's not that. These are just my choices. And I pick on Roy all the time. Roy, Roy dates with a purpose. DVP dates for fun. Who's wrong? Who's wrong? He got his way, I got my way. Nobody's wrong. I only mess with, I only mess with people who doing this. Girls say, oh, see, I would never mess with a guy like you cause. I say, you single, right? Yeah. So your way ain't work for you. You 40 something years old. You done dated more than 12 guys. Ain't none of them chose to marry you. Maybe you should just look outside of what you're so caught up on about what they gotta do and look at what they bring to the table and look at what you bring to the table. Why don't they want you? Why don't they? I'm finna block Trina. You see Trina message, Roy?
I do, but I didn't understand it.
Cause you cook. She like, come on and join us.
Oh, join. Okay. I was kind of confused. I'm like, join the marriage. I'm like, wait, what? It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Hey man, I keep telling I make a mean bowl of cereal.
That right, right. Well, 'cause, it's funny you talk about that. That's one of the things, man. And we talk about this stuff and just kind of moving into dating. Yeah, I'm gonna do this real briefly because I was on this dating site. I'm just trying to get a friend of mine suggested that I tried because they found somebody. She found somebody that she had been involved with for a while. So she said, "Hey, that's worked out. Get a shot." So I get on there, and you know how my schedule can get, dude. It's like I can get caught up in so much stuff that like I forget to eat. That's how busy my schedule can get, and it can happen like in a matter of an hour, not expecting it to happen, not nothing. And I mean, I could get that busy where I don't reach out to like I don't even talk to I might not even talk to my kids for 2 days because I forget and I got stuff going. That could be just here. If you add me traveling into it, it makes it even more hard. So I saw this young lady. We connected on the site. Dude, we had one 15-minute conversation while she was driving to go work out, right? Hadn't even really decided if we wanted to meet yet or whatever. She's looking at her and reading my profile and stuff and telling me said because she gets mad because I got busy right when I hit you up and told you I wouldn't be able to do the show because I had to drive 10 hours. I had to drive down to Miami and so I follow when I finally do catch around and follow back up with her. I had to tell her I'm like, well, listen, we hadn't even had enough of a conversation for me to know if I wanted to continue to meet you. Now you done decided based on what you've seen that you done made all these choices. And I'm like, but that don't mean that you, and we get to you because you mentioned the preference and priority. You haven't made my priority list yet. I made 2 calls within a 72-hour period of my last contact with her. I called my mama and I called my daughter because I had to let my daughter know something because I was leaving town and she had to get something from the house. And I called my mama because I was coming down there. I'm like, baby, anybody else that wanted to talk to me, guess what they did? They called me. You the one decided to go 5 days and not reach back out to me either, or at least ask like, oh, well, is everything okay? Like, man, listen, like you said, people got to realize you don't just fall into somebody's life and think that that you all of a sudden, or to your point, even if you've been in their lives, you can't dictate what their priorities and preferences are. You can't dictate
Right.
what's important to them. So,
Right. And more importantly than dictating what's important, you can't dictate your importance to them because there's still levels and there's still a graduation process. 90% of the time, you probably put your kids ahead. But there are times your kids ain't in the top 3 unless there's an emergency. And people don't seem to want to get that because they think that everything is so automatic. I mean, yeah, if if I see Zuri doing something and there's a problem with Trina, I got to make a decision who's more important at that point. What's the issue that they're having? Because, yeah, kids are important. This is important. But you still have to do these things on the fly. Oh, I'm going to always check on my kid first. Well, it's easy to say until you got kids. Because sometimes kids just, zero will scream just to scream. You got to prioritize. And, we get into these things and it's so insane. And, while we're talking about dating, and this is one of the things I always found funny about dating. It's a date. We're getting to know each other. We're getting to know each other. You are not my priority. You are not my priority. When I got time, I got time. But, my time may not be your time. One of the great things about when me and Trina were dating is that technically we were both night owls at the time. Me and Trina could be talking at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, which was perfect for me. Most women ain't up 3, 4 in the car. They have casual conversation. They want to do it during my business hours. Trina understood that when I'm working with clients, there is no phone. We can't do nothing but text. Oh, I hate texting. Well, Slim, if you want to get to know me while I'm doing my bodyguard work, this man is paying me good money for what he thinks is my undivided attention. I can text you, but we're not finna talk on the phone. We not finna talk. He wants me to think. He wants to feel like I got his. No, but if having that is that important to you, then yeah, I'm not a good match for you, and I know you're not a good match for me. And if you want to call and argue, oh, your client's more important than me. Yeah, they paying my rent. You doing what? Nothing. You we well, we might have sex. Well, there's some other women who will have sex without all this extra shit that you're giving me right now. So if I'm prioritizing what's really important to me, making this money is one, two, and three. Sex with you is on my top 50 list. You know, and you know when we get into that, and people have to understand, which is to me why it's so important to get into the getting to know somebody, to see if you can be friends, to see what it is you got going. Because once when you're friends, it's much easier to speak your honesty and nobody takes it personal because they know what you're about because they've taken the time to get to know you. Uh, it was a reason it was so easy to it was easier having cut buddies than dating because everybody knew their purpose. No, the texts that women hate are the same texts that some dudes hate. We hate the WYD text. We know what that means. I mean, do I got time to get some? Unless it comes at an opportune time. You know, shit. There were times when I was single. I looked forward to those texts because I knew what it meant. And I'm like, nah, but you know, if you still up in 45 minutes, I will. Boom. We ain't got to go through none of this crazy process of where do I fit into your life or why you ain't did this, why you ain't did that. I don't need you calling me every day. Um, I can't say me and Trina went a while without talking to each other during our friendship phase. I know we didn't do it. I think we had one little incident during the dating phase where we didn't talk for like 24 hours. But that was it. But other women is like, oh, you know, you don't do a good job of staying in touch. Anybody who knows me before Trina knew that I was not a phone person. I'll text you, but I ain't finna call you. And if I call you, you can best believe within 5 to 6 minutes we getting off the phone. I don't have that much to say. I'm not a sharer of information. I'm not gonna tell you about my day. I may or may not ask you about your day. I just thought the whole socializing thing was a waste of time. It's one of the skills that I lacked in. One of the things that me and Trina had to work on was my socialization. As much as I do, I wasn't a good social person. I wasn't good at sharing. I'll let you tell me whatever you want to tell me. If you don't ask me the right question, you know, I'm not giving you no answers to nothing. And you don't talk a lot. You don't ask a lot. Shit, that was my thought process. You don't ask. You know, more. I let you talk. Hell, I got questions. If you don't ask none, I'm cool with not answering none. I don't even take it personal. Um, but your stock does drop a little bit. Just depends on where you want to be. But I didn't lose friendships over this because I never put them in that category. I never try to put people in the category that they gotta lose. Like I said, I got friends who are 45 supporters. I like teams that I don't care for. You really think I'm gonna fall out about Roy? I'm gonna fall out with Roy about him being a Heat fan or about him being a Dolphin fan? I'm gonna talk trash because that's what I'm supposed to. But you really think that this is what we're gonna fall out about? And you know, I'm watching people with oh, I can't believe you did that. Well, if you can't believe I did something, it's because you don't know me. That's your fault. Because it ain't my job to let you know me better. If you want to know me better, that's your job to get there. Every time she asks questions like an attorney, girl, stop playing. And these are the things that you know we gotta start paying more attention to. Let people be different and diverse. Embrace that. Learn why people do stuff. I ain't telling anybody to go out and have a racist friend, but it's cool having one that you can just talk to and ask questions. You know, there are lots of people that over the years whose phone number I've gotten that I can call and just ask them a random question and they'll answer me so honestly. And I appreciate them for that because I can get an honest answer without having to give a whole, why you want to know this? Why you want to know? Just tell me what your thought process is on this. You know, oh, I would never date a girl who had sex on the first date. Why? Because that means she's, or she like you, or she know what she want. I kind of like when it's a she know what she want kind of thing. Now, if she has sex on the first date, just because she has sex on the first date, then maybe not. But there's a reason why people do everything. You know, oh, I don't want them to think I'm easy. Well, see, you worried about the wrong thing. to me. To me. But how you do you is how you do you. That works for you. Work for me. I don't have to be part of what you do. Like I say, me and I harass Roy all the time by him dating with a purpose. Roy wants to be married, and I like to pick on him about that. I like to, but that's what we can do. It was nothing that was on my priority list, yeah, but it happened. It's a big deal.
Right. The fact that he got married before I did, I was sitting here like, ain't this some shit?
But you get the best deals at the grocery store when you're not hungry. Because then you get to pay attention to more stuff as opposed to looking for stuff to fix that need. And that's just how it is. And and it's funny. It's funny, Roy, because I can say this. I mean, hell, we met on Facebook in a damn group.
Who, you and Trina?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Aria says sex on the first date is sealing that relationship as it. No, and I disagree with you, Aria. It just depends on the vibe that's going. If you come across as a hoochie and I'm looking for a hoochie, hey, supply and demand. I've had sex on the first date with women, and we're still cool to this day. There's no tension or anything else. At the time, it was the climate. Everything went. Now, the girl I had sex with, where I wanted to commit suicide, I went to that. Well, anyway, I don't even want to go there because I'm trying to have suicidal thoughts, and already I thought about killing myself just the thought of having sex with her. But there are women, yeah, who have wanted to have sex with me, and I couldn't figure out why because there was no vibe. There was no vibe at whatsoever. I didn't look at them. I didn't really care to see them naked, and yeah, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And yeah, I did it twice. I failed the peer pressure. But eh, sometimes surprises are good for the soul. Unfortunately, I wasn't surprised. I was severely let down. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. Um, but yeah, you sometimes you find things when you ain't looking for them. I wasn't. I can honestly say I wasn't looking for a wife. I wasn't. I woke up. There was a white dude standing over my bed, and he asked me. He said, "Do you?" And I said, "Do I?" And he was dyslexic, so he heard I do. So next thing I know, we was married. Um, so I'm still trying to contest. I'm trying to get AARP to step in and do something for me about that fact. Let's see. There may be some exceptions, but for the most part, a woman shouldn't expect a commitment. And again, Eric, it just depends on the vibe. There are some times, and and this is one of the things I'm gonna say about that. Where we looking? I can't see a clock. Okay. When we say the first date, how long have you been knowing each other? Now, if I just meet you at the club at 10 o'clock and 11:30, we naked and doing all this, I may look at you a little differently. But if I've been seeing you at the club, we've been flirting back and forth for like 2, 3, 4 months, and then we have a date. See, all those things to me play into the scenario. But that's just that's just how everybody look at it. And there's no, I don't think, for very few things are there just concrete rules that just gotta always be followed unless they involve kids. I mean, that's a whole different animal. But just in a general course with no extraneous factors, there's nothing that's just hard and fast. No, what made this girl more special than that girl? It was something about that girl. It was something about that experience. Because every every Roy, you still single, so we can talk about on the dates you've been on. Does every girl act the same way that you can just go by a script that they gonna all know their role?
No, and actually that's why I popped back on because I kind of wanted to comment on that because we've talked about this on different shows before. I am sapiosexual, meaning that if I can't connect with somebody mentally or emotionally, so to speak, it's like it's very difficult for me to be intimate with that person. Now, I have been on dates, and I'm gonna kind of use the situations that you were just talking about. I've been on a first date with somebody, say that I met on one of the dating sites, who I've been talking to for 2 or 3 weeks, and it felt like okay, the conversation is great. Let's go ahead and hit this thing, and go check out on the date. And the conversations would be great. We would do well over the phone. When we get in person, and it just doesn't feel right. It's like, okay. what I thought was gonna be there may end up you look at it and be like, yeah, nah, that ain't it. So we get there. There have been people that I've met, and like we talked about this before. I literally didn't buy a woman my first drink in a club until I was like 43 years old. So like it's not like I was out going to the club, but it was somebody else that I met. We went out on a first date, and that was really the first date was actually our first conversation when we had the opportunity to sit down, talk, get to know each other. Well, we sat down at the table and started talking at about 9 o'clock. Hell, we looked up and realized everybody in the damn restaurant had left. And the waitress, she's like, y'all just look like y'all was having so much fun. She's like, that's why I didn't come over here and bother y'all. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. The restaurant was closing down. They closed at 4. Then we closed it down. And we still left after that and went and had more interaction. We went somewhere that we could sit and talk and do some stuff. Now, we didn't have sex on the first date, but next time we got together, we did. And it's just that and it wasn't because we didn't want to the first night. We both actually realized that we had other stuff to do that next morning when we got ready to leave. So I know, like I said, a lot of guys, I don't think it's necessarily a determining factor. Like Ari said, that's all it's gonna be. Because usually, D, this is one of the things that you say a whole lot. That when that happens, those dudes, those type of dudes, they usually gonna let you know that up front.
Right.
There's a different kind of conversation. There's a different type of situation that's going on. If all he trying to do is hit it and bounce, he gonna let you know. And then if you happen to, for whatever reason in that time period, come out of that category, that's when you can, not look for a relationship. But those guys normally will do that.
And let me correct you right quick. When you get in those situations, as Roy's talking about, honestly speaking, that's when you know you really got more of a man, because he's willing to let you know what it is up front. Are you promotable or demotable? A lot depends on what happens after that. But because a lot of guys still will give you the standard BS line about they looking at you in a different kind of way and they looking at you for potential, yada yada yada. I can say the women who I had sex with early, we knew what it was. But we were still cool. We doing this as grown people. We ain't doing this as a hustle. Where I'm giving you a bill of goods telling you, yo, I ain't got no girlfriend. I might be looking for the right one. If you put it down right, you can be that one, chickie. This ain't that. So when Roy was talking about that, and I just wanted to say that's more man conversation than guy or dude conversation. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. You're right. I agree with you on that too.
So,
You know.
because I always say, one of the things I always say, when you're honest with a woman, she can't bust your windows out. And my thing was, I ain't never want my windows busted out. So I just let you know up front, hey, this is what this is. This is where we are. Because we're not finna have sex if there's a misunderstanding. And I can tell by how you looking at me if we having a misunderstanding. If you want to be too lovey-dovey, hey, just want you to understand this now. Because you acting girlfriend this. This is just when people want to have a good time. If you ain't cool with that, I can step back. Because I don't want to mislead you. Because some women tend to use sex as the deal sealer. And sex ain't a deal sealer. Sex is, what's the word? Sex. That's what it is. Sex is just sex. And, if we're being honest, me and Trina had sex on the first date. So, and look at where it got her. But, to that, me and Trina we met online. We probably had known each other online for 2 or 3 years. So there was a rapport that we built up. There were some things that we did. We talked quite a bit. So, and it's like, people say, oh, that wasn't really a first date. Yeah, it was the first time we ever met face to face. And it still wasn't a plan. It just kind of happened. As Roy said, we got together, we started talking. One thing led to another. The chemistry was there. It was so easy violating each other's personal space. Everything was it was what it was. You've heard of women impose demands on a one night stand. They can impose what they want to, and depend on who they dealing with. When guys want sex, they will say almost anything. They'll agree to stuff. Can you hold them to that agreement? Yeah. Try it on the people's court. He said if I gave him something, he was gonna marry me. He didn't do it. Yeah. See what Judge Million tell you about that. See what Judge Judy tell you about that. That you just You paid into your own stupid tax. Right, but and me and Trina, we established connection prior to this meeting. But if we're following the technicalities of it, it was still our first date. Um, but like I say, that's one of them things where you can't just sit back and impose everything and have such hard and fast guidelines. As me and Roy talked about, and maybe we'll do another show next year on it. We talked about preferences and priorities, and a lot of people, even with friendships and who you deal with, if you don't have your priorities set, you're gonna keep falling into the same traps. Excuse me. Once you got priorities, because your preference is always negotiable. Once you got your priorities set, if you stick to your priorities and you need to write them down so you don't say, oh, damn, I forgot about this, you can keep straight in there and make fewer bad decisions. We're going to always make bad decisions. This is part of life. But when you got your priority list down and you know what's, boom, well, this is on the list. Well, this person is kind of like that. But then why are you dealing with them? If you know this is something you don't want to be bothered with, why are you dealing with them? You already said you wouldn't. So you can save yourself a lot of trouble by just sticking to your own list. But you got to know what they are. And I think people who don't have preferences and priorities set themselves up more for that circle of failure because you keep repeating the same dumbass things over and over again because you're trying to convince yourself that somebody or something is good for you when it really ain't. And sometimes you gotta mix and match. There are things that you may not like, and this is one of the things I'll say. It ain't that you don't like them. You don't like the way that somebody's doing them to you. I've had chocolate cake made by several different people. Some I like, some I didn't like. So do I like chocolate cake or don't I? All depends on who's making it. I think I like chocolate cake. But I've had certain meals that people made that was like, ugh. But when somebody else made it, it's like, hey. So sometimes we limit ourselves. Oh, I ain't gonna never do this with somebody like this. Well, try the second or third time. Be be an informed decision maker. Don't just limit yourself because of one something. Like I said, Darren and Crystal, I watched them. They came on the show. We became friends. They doing great stuff all the time. Um, you just have to learn stuff and you look at stuff. Me and Doug was on one of the shows, and Roy just talked about it. Sometimes you can have a connection online, then when you meet in person, that connection is gone. Um, you know, Doug 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 sent me a picture of before and after. You know, Women, stop using them filters. Okay, you're hurting yourself using them filters. You send me a filter picture, then when I see you don't look shit like that, you are setting yourself up for failure. You are setting yourself. Don't send me that Beyonce picture and then you come back looking like Brunhilde. What? Soulmate, Trina stole my soul. Um, but like I said, these are the things you want to do. Take from other people. You know, when I watch Dan and Crystal, they doing their little fire pit that they're gonna come to Georgia and help us do. I just volunteered y'all for that. So Trina, say hey to Darren and Crystal. Um, but you just, sometimes you see stuff that other people are doing. You're like, damn, I ain't never thought about that. I don't think I'm gonna try that. I think I'm gonna, because it's outside of what you normally do, and that's okay. But don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Darren and Crystal don't live here. I shouldn't even know them. I forgot where y'all live. Where you live? Where y'all, Crystal? Uh, and it's crazy. It's even crazier to me when people set guidelines for race. Oh, I'm only gonna have these kind of friends. Why? Cause this is what I am. Being being pro-black does not mean being anti-white or anti anything else. Doesn't. It doesn't. We have to stop doing these things and wondering why we keep staying again in that perpetual circle of retardedness. Oh, they up in Denver. I almost had a
Uh,
job there.
my daughter in Colorado Springs.
Yep, they offered me a job with I forgot the sheriff's department name, but they came there and tried to get me. It's too much snow up there. I like a little heat. Y'all only have heat like 3 days out the year. But hey, we coming up there. I want to smoke some legal weed for like 3 minutes. So find out who got the cheap legal weed because I ain't got no bunch of money, Crystal. But yeah, and like I said, that's the thing. Crystal, like I said, they came to the show. They don't know me. They came in, they commented, we liked each other, and we went from there. That's how you meet people, and you exchange ideas, you exchange information, and what's it called when you look on people's page and you don't say nothing? We cyber stalking.
Lurkers.
Yeah, we lurking. I'm lurking and cyber stalking and seeing all the good stuff. I'm commenting on pictures. I want to say one of their kids just had a birthday. Man, I'm all for that. We ain't No, we ain't moving up there now. It's cold. It's no, y'all coats way too much. I'm a little bitty dude. I can't wear them heavy coats. Okay, now the Cheech and Chong thing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm cool with that. Why we ain't going skiing? Trina had me camping, y'all. Trina had me camping, like in a tent for real camping. But we can't go skiing anyway. Um, but yeah, what we looking like? So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. We gotta stop. We gotta stop trying to judge people based on on things because they don't agree with us, because they don't see the same things we see. We need to have some things in common. True, we need to have some things in common, but not everything. You know, Roy gonna be mad at me for a minute because, as he said, it's crazy that I got married before he did. So he probably gonna try to put me in a headlock because I
And
wouldn't look
see,
for it. He, but
it
that's just one of
absolutely,
them.
it absolutely not, because one of the things, if you remember, this is the funny thing. I know Darren, because it's funny you talked about this, how we used to. It was always the good Jedi, or the Sith or the Jedi. We doing all
Right,
this
right.
different stuff. And although he was not looking to be married, he
I
never
wasn't
said he was
fighting it.
adverse to it. And I knew, and I kind of figured it would, because I mean, hell, I got a whole lot more stuff. Darren retired and he doing his thing. He can move and do stuff the way he wants to. And of course, like he talked about, I'm building this company. My company is my prior, my kids, my company, and then whatever else, my family, and whatever else may fall in the list. That's how it goes for me. So as much as I want to be in a relationship, I need somebody to pull my interest enough so that they become a part of that top 3 priority list, or top 4, because it's always going to be my children and my business first until I get somebody to move into the space after my children. And so, I mean, but that's you talk about being friends. I'm cool, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think me and Trina were friends before y'all were friends on Facebook.
No,
Yes, I'm telling you, I think so. So I don't know if we can check that thing, but yeah, because when I saw it, when I first saw who you was dating, I was like, oh shit! I was like, oh. But no, I'm happy for my dude. I'm happy for that's my man. I'm like, I get, because I'm one of those people who believes that when a man, not the whole when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Yes, I do believe that, but I think women help us move to a different space in our lives, and they give us a different type of purpose. And and I've been pushing Darren to do different things. And I mean, look, he got him somebody. I'm happy for him. And he joke about me being mad. I might flat his ties like he say and stuff like that. But I'm never gonna do anything to downplay that my brother's relationship. So no, that's dope to me that he found somebody that actually pulled him into that space.
And there are times when, as men, not just black men, but as men, we should have healthy competition to see who can find the right person first. And as Roy said, and this is super true. Not finding a woman, finding a good woman that's for you will make a difference in your life, because you do tend to you reprioritize some things and you look at life a little differently. Because now your priorities that you thought were important before, because before my only goal was making money. Don't get me wrong, it's still one of my goals. But now I got a family. Y'all seen Lazuria? Y'all seen her? You think I'm really gonna miss all of that little dancing and whatever it was she was doing? That's my entertainment. You know, some days I just sit and watch that little girl. I just watch her and I laugh. You know, and she'll tell Trina something about how I'm her favorite. And then Trina just push off on me, and Trina get mad because she'll come in the room and I'll be playing on my little PlayStation. See, when y'all keep talking about y'all won't deal with a man who play games, but I got a PlayStation. And she'll come in there. I give her a little controller. We play Madden together. Her controller don't work, so don't think I'm trying to cheat on the little girl. But she come in there, and then boom, next thing you know, she sleep. Then I get, Trina fuss at me because she won't go to sleep with Trina. But she like, how she just go to sleep with you? I tell her I'm going to bed. You know? Hey, we don't play the game. I got tired. And but that's the cool part of it because that's what we do. And that's what makes everything so good. I want to say congratulations to Deborah who just checked in on the wrong page. She had a spread in the article. I think I shared it on the page. If not, I'll reshare. Where she got her degree and she all about she's a psychologist now. I'm gonna see if she can help me with give me some useful information about my depression. But yeah, there's some great things happen. I think one of the biggest round trend is that I wasn't looking for. Uh, it just happened. And like I said, we met in a Facebook group. I think I shared this before. We dated. I tried a long distance thing. It wasn't working for me. And luckily, see, this is where luck comes into play. Luckily, I was doing well enough with my businesses that I could bring her down here. But had I been a struggling artist and couldn't have brought her down here, and she would have to stay up there, I can't say we would have kept this thing going. But that's all about timing and having my priorities in a good place so that I was doing things to help make me financially secure. But again, had I not had the option, where would we be now? And sometimes um, time, purpose, and destiny play a big part in your life. Sometimes everything don't line up. Roy's been doing this. Roy gonna have a time because Roy, like most of us, why this ain't worked out yet. And one of the best lessons I learned, sometimes it ain't your time to make it work. You ain't through going through life's lessons because we all think we done learned enough. But sometimes we need a little extra lesson in something before we get there. Then when the time, purpose, and destiny kick in, what's meant to be will be. You done paid your dues, you're there, you ready to overcome all the obstacles, or all the obstacles you need to learn about are there. But you just got to stay consistent and true to it. Because I know there's probably times where I want to be like, man, fuck, let me go do this. Let me go do that. I mean, I felt the same way about a lot of different things because there's nothing that we experience that sometimes we don't really think about just letting it go because we're tired. Because we all get tired. Anybody who say they don't never get tired is to me, they BSing you. You just get tired. You just want to do something different, or you just want to stop, but you don't. Don't mean you want to. As Dwayne Wade said, you get knocked down 7 times. Only thing that's important is getting up 8 times. Don't let getting knocked down at one time keep you down, because then you lose forever. It's 7:57, y'all. It's 7:57, y'all. And my shot is supposed to be working, and she goofing off on how she on here and working too. So Roy was supposed to give me a message to read, y'all. Let me find it before I get off, so I don't get in trouble. About Y'all need to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. I got another group, Random Thoughts with DVP After Dark, or After Dark with Random Thoughts. I don't know what it is, but come on over there. We have adult conversations. It's a little, sometimes get a little X-rated, but it is what it is. If you've grown and you're there, ask to join the group. But this is one of the things I need y'all to do. I need y'all to download and register with the network app from Apple and Android stores. We're gonna start doing some giveaways. Uh, we're gonna give away some masks. Make sure you select a Random Thought with DVP show. It'll bring you straight to the network. All right. So for those of y'all, when you ain't on Facebook or whatever, you're gonna be able to download the app and still watch the show and still add your boy.
So let me
It's on.
let me go ahead and reset that for y'all.
Okay, he gonna say it correctly. I just read what he gave me to read.
No, he didn't. So okay. So
I
no, what
did.
what we need y'all to do is we need you to go ahead and download the app. And what we were trying to do this, and we wanted to kind of get it throughout the show. We were saying once we got 20 people from the show to download the app, y'all will be entered into a drawing for a cash gift card. Four of those people already of that first 20 are going to get our BCSN face mask, Black College Sports Network face mask for free. And then we've also got some sponsor stuff that's going to be coming in that we're going to be giving away in some drawings and everything for people who register with it. But again, you can register, you can download the app at MyJBN, and it's actually a hyphen, not a slash. My BCSN. It's on both Apple and Android. It's a free app. And he was correct in the sense that you'll be able, if you're not on social media, you'll actually be able to see the show live in the app. We'll be doing more interaction and stuff, and we have a lot more things coming out in the next few months. We are actually amping up for 2021. The thing he was talking about, we actually are going to be looking at bringing back one of my old shows, actually something we used to do at Barley's, the Live Wire Cafe, which is actually a show that comes on Wednesday. So I'm talking with, we got a new location. I don't know how many of you all that are in the Atlanta metro area, but we're going to be working with the Uptown Comedy Club and doing some stuff down there. It's a real nice venue, D. I was out there last night. And we'll actually be able to practice social distancing. Whenever we do our events, we'll actually have somebody out there wiping down tables and wiping down all of the stuff that people are going to be interacting with. So they'll be moving around doing that throughout the night until we can get back to a normalcy with that. But we will definitely be practicing the safe policies and stuff. But yeah, and when you choose, it asks you when you register what show brought you to the network. He was saying select number 3, which is Random Thoughts with DVP, so that we know that you're coming through his show. So that on that list, and we can get it. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all. So boom, there it is.
So if y'all want to advertise, get with Roy. If you want to do a show, get with me or Roy. We'll get you there. If it's something you want to talk about, inbox me, shoot me a text, and we'll go from there. I got a couple of show ideas. Roy reminded me of some shows I was supposed to do. As a producer, he's supposed to have a list and keep me on point, but sometimes he be slacking, so that's his fault. I ain't gonna take no blame for that. I'm old and senile, so sometimes I need reminders. But as usual, it's 8 o'clock. I just want to thank you guys for joining me. We'll be back again in 6 days and 22 hours. Talk about something else. Remember, go out and vote. Period. I'm truly not gonna tell you who to vote for, but go out and vote. If our votes didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to get us a vote. So quit saying your vote don't count. Every vote counts. Your one particular vote is one of many. When you don't, you can't get $100 without getting that first dollar. So go out and vote. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. Go get your absentee ballot. All right. And on that note, y'all know what it is. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp,